And we are back. Oh my goodness. Listen, y'all, because they don't even really, well, they kind of know this. Those who are listening know that I have paused finding your voice after 40. I paused it so that I could get a life and rest for a moment. And our plan was to resume in 2025. But but we are doing a special bonus today. And so those of you watching, listening, those watching already know. You see the visual, you already know who we have here because I think y'all are superstars. I'm gonna be honest. I do think that you're superstars, and I hope you know that. Those who are listening, you can read the show notes. We have Stephanie Perry and we have Roshida Dowe, who who are the owners, founders of Exodus Summit. But more than that, they have their own thing that they do that's so beautiful and so magical for Black women. So I'm just super excited. Hi, ladies. How are you? How are you?
Hello. We're excellent.
Hey,
We're very excited to talk to you. Yeah.
I'm super excited to have you. I am a stalker. Okay, so it's all right. I let my guests know when I stalk them a bit. But Stephanie is a return guest. Stephanie was
yes.
actually on the podcast literally almost exact date year ago. And Rashida, we couldn't get you. You were too like busy, popular. I don't know what happened. We couldn't get our schedules right. You were supposed to be a part of that.
That don't sound right.
I swear.
I don't know. I don't like. I don't know.
Don't tell her. Don't tell her that I just wanted you to myself, Kenya. Don't tell her.
I was about to say, or somebody lied. No, but anyway, I don't think that
before. No,
so I'm just so glad we were able to do it as a whole community today. So
thank you.
I'm super excited. And while we're gonna talk a bit, I'm gonna have each of you kind of share a little bit more of your background because some are new to the podcast, never seen you, heard about you or anything. So I want to make sure they understand who you are individually. But the majority of our conversation is going to be around a virtual summit that you guys have been doing for the past, I want to say 4 or 5 years at this point.
This is our
5,
fifth time doing
yes.
it. Yes.
Yeah. And it's growing and it's special and there's just so much about it. It's called Exodus Summit. We're going to get to that. But before we get to that, Stephanie, I would love if you could just share with our audience, what it is you do and anything else you think people should know about you in this quick moment.
Hello, friends. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter. Since 2015, I have been bopping around the world. I have not lived in the United States full time since 2015. And for the last 3 years, I've spent at least half the year in San Jose, Costa Rica. I really enjoy doing as little as possible and having a lot of free time and peace and ease in my life. And leaving the United States has given me that. And I really love sharing that with other Black women, telling other Black women, hey, there's another way. We don't have to hustle and grind and no sleep and sleep when you're dead, right? That's not the only way to live.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing.
See, this is why we're on pause, y'all. So those of you been wondering, like, Kenya, why'd you pause the podcast? I'm like, I can't keep listening to these women talking about rest and me coaching other people about rest, and I'm not rested. So honestly, you have really, both of you, and I'm gonna have Roshida introduce herself next, but both of you have inspired me so much. If I even though I'm not out of the country yet, I have been traveling a lot more. I've been doing solo trips a lot more. I've been resting a lot more. And I wish I could say that was just on my own druthers, but really, honestly, both of you watching your YouTube channels and your interviews have really inspired me to do that. So it's y'all's fault. We ain't got the podcast.
We'll take the credit. It's the credit, not the blame. We'll take the credit.
Yes. Take it off. I accept credit and then I give Stephanie any blame over that way.
I love it. Roshida, share with the audience. Who are you?
My name is Roshida Dowe. I live in Mexico City. I've been here about 5 years. I took a career break to travel the world in 2018, making lemonade out of a layoff. And I have really enjoyed my time here. I'm currently a career break coach. I help women leave situations that aren't serving them to find their joy around the world, wherever it may be. And I am the co-founder of Exodus Summit, which is my very, very pretty, special, perfect baby. And I can't wait to talk to you about my baby today,
I can't
whatever
wait.
time of day this is.
It's day, but people will watch it and listen at any time. So I love that. And I love that you said career break because and how you made lemonade, because I have so many friends right now, Roshida, who have either been laid off or completely stressed and they're like, okay, I got to leave, but have no idea how to make these lemons lemonade. No idea how to do this. And so I know Exodus Summit provides a space for women to start to think about this. And then if they're needing more specific attention, obviously, either one of you, particularly Roshida because of the career break piece, but those of you who are also just trying to figure out what's this house sitting thing, all of that, Stephanie, you go to her channel, which we're going to have all that in our show notes, and you will know more than you even thought you could know about house sitting. I'm like, oh my God, I know so much now, and I never even thought about it. So I love it. So Exodus Summit, this is what we want to really spend our time with. And I know that many people are like, what do we mean by Exodus Summit? So Roshida, I'll ask you, maybe tell us a little bit of the history. First of all, what is it? And then how did it come to be?
It is an online summit for Black women and families who want to move abroad or take a career break. Every year we focused on some aspect that helps you move abroad or take a career break. This year we're really focused on the move abroad because we wanted to give women tools to move abroad at a much quicker pace than they might be able to on their own. And so how it came about is a long story, but basically Stephanie and I were living our best lives around the globe. We had connected and we wanted to our lives are full of joy, and we wanted to show other Black women how they could experience this too. We were people who felt really fortunate to be in the situations we were, and we knew that it took some effort, but the payoff far outweighed the amount of effort it took to get to where we were. And so it was like, if I can help another Black woman feel the way I feel right now, I'd love to do that. And that's how we ended up with this summit.
Wow. And literally, I feel like it's a revolution that you both have started. Honestly, I mean, I really do feel, because now I will start to say, "Oh, you should check out Stephanie Perry." They're like, "Oh yeah, I already listened to Stephanie Perry," or "Oh, Roshida Dowe. Oh yeah, no, I know Roshida Dowe. Catherine Bell. I met Catherine, and she's like, oh yeah, no, Catherine or Rashida's the one that taught me this." And I'm like, everybody already knows you. Even I hope you're feeling that. I hope you're beginning to feel the impact beyond just the spaces on YouTube. It's really growing. So I love that. Stephanie, so Roshida just said about getting to it sooner. And Stephanie, if you maybe could share with us, how did you guys come up with that? Like, what made you decide that's kind of how we're going to focus on things?
Friend, listen, things are getting bad in the United States. Like, things are getting bad, and like, we just want Black women and their families out of that. No matter where you live in the country, you're probably feeling more fear, more in danger. You probably worry more about your kids than you did a few years ago. That's not the way life is supposed to be progressing, but that's the way things are turning out. So we came up with this focus for the summit before Kamala Harris was the Democratic nominee for president. And we thought, you know what, things might go really, really bad after the election. But even still, even if we get our first Black woman president, we expect that people in the country are not going to respond well. And that I don't know, we're not fear mongers, but we are people who want to be prepared for what could come. And so that is the reason for the focus. The reason is we think Black women and their families are ready to pick up and get up out, whether it's forever or for just a little while. And so we want to help make that a little bit smoother and help them do that a little bit sooner, or a lot sooner.
So I'm so glad you brought up Kamala, because I was actually thinking about once Kamala got the nomination, that was one of the first things I thought about was, I wonder what the both of you, or just the community of Black women who have left, or what's the feelings now having the potential of having a Black, woman president, which, so many people here in the States and all the things. But to your, hold on, guys, I'm sorry, internet. But to your point, hopefully you can see me because it faded away for a minute. But to your point, I think that we have to think about the other side of having a Black woman. Because yes, I think it's an exciting time, but there is a flip side to that. And we won't talk a whole lot of politics, but and I want to say this, and I'm going to ask my next question, and Roshida, I'd love for you to chime in on it. I honestly, when I saw the topic, I was like, well, why we got to rush? Why we got to rush to leave? I was really kind of telling myself, why I don't need to rush. But as I've heard you guys talk about it more, I'm like, why am I sitting literally in my head? I have said, okay, when I'm 59, and I'm 51. So I'm like, when I'm 59, because that's that 59 and a half, retire, whatever, then you can do it. And I've really had to check myself as I've been listening to you both, talking about the summit. And I definitely, the summit is during a time where I actually have to be in a conference, but I'm gonna still sneak in between because I want to make sure. Yeah, I want to make sure. So speaking of value of going to the summit, what do you think is going to be the biggest value, or maybe share what the summit's going to include, Roshida, so people can know what to expect, those who've never gone?
So one of the things we really love about the summit is we love creating a situation where every individual session in the summit is life-changing for somebody, right? So we have sessions about how to educate your children abroad, like how to choose schools for them, and a panel with parents who are coming from different countries and are in different countries and have chosen different types of education systems. That is going to be life-changing for a mother who's unsure of the school aspect of moving their child abroad. I don't have kids. That's not going to be life-changing for me, right? Like that's not going to get me out the door faster, right? But we also have a session, two related sessions, one about finding remote work and one about getting your current employer to make your job remote, right? To give you a break, so that you can move abroad, maybe temporarily. Maybe you realize you don't need that job after a while and don't come back, whatever. But like for someone, if someone's thinking, if only my job would let me go, then that is a life-changing session for them, right? And there's so many other ones just like that. We have 3 different sessions about healthcare, because we know that's one of the things that women, especially the older women who are in our community, say, I would go, but what about my healthcare? I can't leave my health insurance. What about that? And it's a valid concern if you haven't experienced healthcare in another country. By the time you start experiencing long-term healthcare in another country, it's like, oh, I don't want that American stuff anymore. No, thank you. No, thank you.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's getting really hard here. I'm going to be honest. The healthcare, if I mean all the things that you both have pointed out, but the healthcare, that's for me, and it's mainly because I'm in, I teach in healthcare and I'm teaching future people going into healthcare. So it's no joke. And I think that as Americans, we really quickly do not understand. We think we are the best. I mean, we have been told that's what we are, the best in healthcare. We are, we have the best technology. We have the And it took my mother, not to put all her business out there, but it took them almost 9 months to schedule her hip replacement. She's 85. 85, you don't have the reserves of pain for 9 months, and I mean, she got terribly sick, and it was, if it wasn't for me for being in healthcare, I kind of knew how to push the system a bit more. And we got to move it up like 2 months or whatever. But yeah, I'm really happy to hear that you're going to be kind of really tackling these nuances of actually living.
Well, I mean, what is the point of having the best technology, the best healthcare in the world, if you can't access it and you can't afford it? What is the point? What are we doing? Right?
Exactly.
And so it's just, there's so many better systems around the world where you can talk to your doctor for an hour. When I go to my doctors here, we in it. We are one-on-one. They're not leaving the room to go talk to somebody else or do something else. They are like, all right, tell me everything. What's going on? What do we need to do? And it's just such a different experience that I am hoping that women who have had, I'm a woman who's had lifelong chronic issues. I have some autoimmune issues that have been with me for 30 years. I'm hoping there are women who are like me who give it a chance, who hear what we have to say about healthcare and say, this American system hasn't cured me. I went to a doctor here and I was like, all you doctors are the same. He said something about like, take this drug. And I was like, I've taken a similar drug before. It's never helped. And he was like, I've never been your doctor before. And I was like, a little too cocky, dog. A little too cocky, big dog. But it did. It helped. It put all my symptoms in remission. And I was like,
this is the doctor in Mexico that made, okay.
Yes, he put all my symptoms in remission. And this is what the one I've had for 30 years and have never been in remission before. And I was like, okay, so maybe he didn't know what he was talking about. The cockiness was deserved. I appreciate it. But that kind of thing, like if I am someone who suffered with something for so long and I can get significantly better care in Mexico than I could in the US. And truly, like I walk in, there's no wait. I go to my doctor, it's just me and him for an hour and his nurse or whoever for an hour. And then I'm out. And next time I need to see him again, exactly the same thing. No wait, me and him, we talk. I'm done, right?
See, Roshida, you're making me like, I'm about to leave now just because of that. Because seriously.
Leave. How many times, if you've had to see a doctor, have you been sitting in that waiting room for 3-4 hours? I used to see a retinal specialist all the time. And I would go and it would be like, we're going to dilate your eyes. And that's how they get you. Because now you're a hostage. We dilate your pupils. And now I'm sitting, I've been here for 5 hours waiting for, why give me an appointment? The dilation all gone now. Like, what was the point of the appointment if I have to wait 5 hours to see a doctor?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, don't get me started on health because I'm a health coach. But it's serious. I get riled up too. Stephanie, I'd love to hear from your lens. What do you think is the biggest value, especially of women, because our audience is we've got all ages, but a lot of our women are over 40, over 50. What do you think is going to be the biggest value of these women and their families coming to the summit and learning?
So I'm going to say the other women that you're going to meet. So the sessions are going to be amazing. I think another session that's going to be really helpful to people is legal residency abroad, like how to get residency in another country so you can stay there. I think that's going to be super helpful. But I think seriously, the even greater, even more immeasurable value is getting in community with other women. What happens after the summit is Roshida and I go on about our lives all over the world, and we run into women who know each other. And we say, how do y'all know each other? I know you and I know you, but how do you know each other? And they say, we're accountability buddies and we met during Exodus Summit, right? We're in the same accountability group. We went to the same summit. We got in the same accountability group, and we have talked to each other every week or sometimes every day since October. We are friends now. We're bonded now, and we have made progress together now.
And this is our 3rd time meeting up in person, and we'd be like, wait, not a single, ain't no whoop whoops on my phone. Like, what are we doing? Nothing's. What's going on?
Right? I love it. No. I mean, the online community, I feel is so strong, just literally watching both of you on, Roshida on Sundays, Stephanie on Saturdays. I mean, just literally you feel the community just sitting online, through the chat and just the energy of who you bring in to talk to, or if you're just talking alone, like that's a really real thing. And I sometimes wonder, and so this question, I mean, I don't know if it's related to this summit, but I just wonder about it. Is there ever a time, because, as Black women, I think sometimes we think we have to be guarded and we have to use a lot of discernment, with how we share. And even in community, even though I may love my sister, I might be a little guarded. Like, have you found as you're living abroad, do you experience some of that same kind of energy, or is it just completely different? Like, what is the community feeling like as Black women with other Black women, even actually living abroad?
Physically, like in person, I have decided that I don't spend time with people who are closed off anymore. Like in a group, I understand it. But if we're one-on-one and you're super guarded, girl, no. Like, I'm not interested in that. Right. And so it really means that my community is really open-hearted, warm people. And you know what I mean? By choice, I'm with a lot of open people. And it's not that I don't meet a lot of closed off people, but you meet someone and she's like, you ask a question and you get like a half answer. Yes. And then they say something and it's like a half. No, because it's too hard to try to get to know you. And there are too many other like really wonderful people out there in the world for me to be trying that hard and hitting that brick wall. And so I think one of the things that's changed for me in moving, I don't know if it's to move abroad or like how I've changed since I moved abroad, but I'm now able to say, like, it's not that I don't like her, right? Like, I like her. I just don't want to be her friend, right? As before, I'd have been like, oh, I don't like her. Like, I don't like her attitude. It's not that anymore. It's just like, oh no, I'm choosing who I want to be around, and she's not one of the people.
Right.
And like I said, it means that my community is really giving, really sharing, really, really open. And I love that for me.
Yeah.
Some of that, I think, comes from us no longer having to be guarded. We no longer are in positions where people are out to, in the United States, people are probably out to get you. Some people on your job are probably out to get you. You might have some neighbors out to get your homeowners association. They might be out to get you. And so there is reason to be more guarded and more protected, to have more of a wall up. Because we don't have to have that wall up in our lives anymore. It's really frustrating to see. It's like, girl, please. She may still live in still be in a situation where she needs that guard, that protection, that wall. Listen, we don't. we don't have to have that anymore. We don't have to. Wow. That's how I would define a soft life. We don't have people that we have to prepare ourselves to meet up with, prepare ourselves to be in communication with, right? No people that we have to hide our vulnerabilities from, no people that we have to protect ourselves from. That is what is a soft life, in my opinion. And we're living super soft outside of the country. And it's because, these people are not out to get us. They're here minding their business. People in Mexico, people in Costa Rica, they don't care about us. They don't care about what we're doing. They're living their lives. They hope we like it here. That's it.
Well, I think that part of living your lives, I really want to underscore, because I think that one of the things that America does is living your lives equates so much to work and being successful and not really understanding that living your lives can play out in a very, very different way. And I'm wondering at the summit, and either one of you can kind of take this, is the summit also going to be talking about kind of how to self-care or how you're going to be able to live your lives differently, if you make this move?
We actually have Sarah Clark, who is a yoga teacher, wellness guru lady. She will be very familiar to parts of your audience and very foreign to other parts of your audience. The yoga girlies know her and love her. I'm a yoga girly. So, and she moved to Grenada maybe a couple years ago, maybe the first year of the pandemic. I don't know. I've lost track. And she's going to talk about how to get the inside to match the outside, right? You're on an island now, or you're in a place that's much more relaxed. Like, how do we get to equilibrium with where we are? Yeah. And so it's a really important talk, and I'm glad that we're doing it this year.
Yeah. Stephanie, I don't know if you wanted to share any more with any other sessions, or just the feel of the summit, really thinking about kind of what Roshida just said, that inside, is that addressed as well?
So Octavia Rahim is coming. We love Octavia Rahim
Yeah.
dearly. She's coming back this year to help get us in the mood for the summit, right? To help us to set the mood for us. Octavia Rahim is like the rest ambassador for Black women, and so she's coming in to help us understand why we're coming together for the weekend. What we're doing there is planning for the future. And that future includes a time when we are rested and whole and not whatever state we're in today. So she's coming. But yeah, so the summit, there are some sessions on the mindset, but most of our sessions are very, very action oriented because we know that a lot of women show up to Exodus Summit every year, not really sure that this is really possible for them. Right? They come because they like us. They come because they like the community. They come because they like the speakers. But they're not exactly sure that this is the thing that's going to work for them. And every year, those women get their plan together and move abroad or take a sabbatical abroad. And so we do action in Exodus Summit. We do action because we know that that's the difference maker. That's the difference between a woman who is out living her dream and a woman who's not. It's not deserving. It's not being more deserving or less deserving. It's not being more worthy or less worthy. It's not even about being richer or poorer. It's about the action that women take to figure out their maybe obstacles or obstacles, and figure out a solution to that obstacle. And that's why the summit sessions are so action oriented.
I want to add on to what Stephanie said. It's about action, but it's not about the amount of work, right? It's not about the amount of work one person's done versus the amount of work another person's done. It's identifying the right work and doing making it as easy as possible, right? Like, what are the least amount of steps you can take to get over that hurdle, right? Or to knock it down a little bit, make it easier to step over. And that's what we want for all the women involved. Because we know if you're thinking about making a big change like this, whether it's moving abroad, quitting your job, whatever it is, you are already tired. Black women are tired, right?
Girl, I was just going to say, are you going to teach us how to do it with ease? Because it does feel overwhelming. It does. It's like, okay, I want that. But now, oh Lord, that means I got to do this, and then I got to do that, and then I got to change this, and I got to change that. And so the summit is going to offer, I would assume then, ways to look at this with ease as well.
Yes. And really focusing on what are the most common roadblocks. I think I can do this in my head. I think we have 18 talks.
Oh, wow.
And in those 18 talks, somewhere around there, 17 or 18, we picked whatever biggest roadblocks, and let's use each talk to address one of those. And so we're super excited about what this can mean for women, because some of them are going to knock three things they thought they could never get past off their list. Some are going to knock 10 things off their list, and some are going to knock one, but it's going to be the one that's going to get them abroad. And I'm so excited for them.
I love it. And we're just going on and on. We ain't said the date. And so Stephanie, what is the date of the summit, and how much do the ladies have to, and the families got to contribute? What is their investment for doing this?
Exodus Summit is all online. Sessions are October 11th through 14th, which is Indigenous Peoples Weekend or Columbus Day weekend. October 11th through 14th. Tickets go up on October 11th. Okay, so the price right now for a weekend pass is $109. That means you get the replays through October. The all access pass of 2024. Yes, right. And then Rashida's an attorney. She's gonna get you right. She's not gonna leave you open for exposed, right? And then the all access pass tickets are $299 right now. These prices go up. The all access pass means you get replays through September of 2025. Because these sessions are so action oriented, women like to come back and listen over and over and over. I've done this part, now what's next? I've done this part, now what's next, right? You also then get access to the salons with the all access pass. You get in the small groups with other women who have something in common with you. Maybe it's because you want to move to the same place. Maybe it's because you currently live in the same place. Maybe it's because you have the same like thing. You have a husband, maybe, or you have school age kids and y'all want to be in an accountability group together. So the All Access Pass includes accountability groups and then some bonus workshops that some of our speakers are kind enough to do after the summit, because some things are too much to handle in a weekend. So during the summit, you can hear about the options for schooling your kid, but sitting down and making your schooling plan is a workshop that happens after the summit for the All Access Pass holders, because you want to sit down and you got to figure some things out. You have to work through some things. And so there's some bonus workshops happening after the summit ends.
I love that. And I really want the audience, y'all, to hear this. $299. Come on, guys. This is the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. That's 4 days. Plus, you are going to have workshops after that to do some more hand-holding, because this is, to your point, people have to digest and come down, come up, like all of that. And so I just think that's a really, really fair price. And the level, so many of the conferences, and I've heard you both kind of talk about this, so many conferences are kind of like, I made it successful and my life is great and good luck to you. Bye. Like that.
Yeah.
That's
exactly the script. You've been to a lot of these, Kenya.
I told y'all. That's why it don't make no sense that I'm waiting till I'm 59. Anyway, because I watch carefully. And it's funny because I coach women, right? I coach people. And I guess in my brain, I'm used to having kids, and this is my first part of my life. Both children are out. I am empty nester. They have flown. They are one is in college. One has already started his career. So I'm like, oh, you don't have to wait. Like in my head, I think I kept thinking that number because I got my kids. But I know there's so many me's out here, so many people who just, and those of us, particularly of us have had children of any age, putting ourselves second is so automatic. It's just so like, you don't even realize you're doing it until they're away. And you're like, wait a minute, like for real, this is my life. Like this is for real my life. So I really just want to encourage ladies, yes, the 109 is extremely affordable for all those days, but those who are really want to make this happen and need more hand holding, I just think that's a really fair investment. Like that's super
something that what you just said triggered for me, and that I've never actually thought about in this context before, is that a lot of those conferences you go to and they're giving you the and I did it. They're selling something on the back end, which is why they're not giving you the actionable steps in the conference. There's a course or something else they want you to sign up for. This is it. We ain't selling, we have programs of our own, but this conference isn't a lead in to those things. This is a standalone. You'll get all the information you need right here. And then we hope to see you next year, right? We hope you join our community. And not that we're abandoning you, but we're not trying to funnel you into something else. So this $299 gets you a plan, as opposed to you pay and you show up and now someone's trying to reel you in to something else. So they tell you, I can tell you how I did it, but it's too long a story for right now. So why don't you join my program and you can learn there. We're not doing that. We're not.
No, indeed.
So super good point. Super good point. And I don't know, Stephanie, were you going to chime in as well?
No, I was just saying, ain't nobody got time for that. We don't have time for a whole bunch of, and then next time we'll do this. No, indeed.
We're giving it all to you. Listen, we do August, September, October. We do a year's worth of work in those months, and then we go hibernate. Right? It's time to rest. I've been working. I've talked to 10 people today. My God, I need to sleep. Right? And so it's that I will rest when this is over. That'll be my break, right? You're on your break. I'll be on my break when this is over. Ain't nobody got time to be trying to put you in another program or doing everything.
Yeah. And I think that's what, beyond Exodus Summit, which why I was so happy to have you both. We'll have Roshida for the first time on and bring Stephanie back, is because you both are not salesy. You're not, they have obviously lots of wonderful, impactful opportunities. I'm literally watching people who have started their YouTube channel as a result, Stephanie, of doing your Utah, it's coaching for a
My
week or
channel.
what have you. And I'm literally watching them like like I said, I'm friends with Catherine. So I told her, I said, girl, your YouTube, like how'd you get that many views? And when it's like, oh, of course, she did Stephanie's, class. So I think you're both very action oriented, but still not salesy about it. You know what I mean? Like you really are honestly looking out for women.
I think that some of that comes from, we're not afraid to talk about money. Some people sound kind of salesy because they're afraid to talk about money, right? Or, there's like a caginess, right? We're very upfront about money. We're very clear that money doesn't give you any value, but we're also very clear that we don't work for free. Okay. Money doesn't give a person value, right? A person with X amount of dollars is no more valuable than a person with Y amount of dollars, right? And we're also very clear that we don't work for free. And I think that people can identify with that. There's no caginess and pretending about what we do or don't sell, right? We're very clear. Here's some things we do for money. Here's some things we never gonna do, no matter how much money. Here's some things we don't do at all.
And here's some things we do for free, right? You want to listen to us all Saturday and Sunday? You could listen to, I think Stephanie and I probably for a year, if you just press play and just listened. We listen, we talk a lot on the internet. You can get that for free, but you can't come to a summit for free because we don't expect Black women to work for us for free. So we pay everybody. We got a team. We pay them. We pay our speakers. Some will say the best they've ever been paid to speak. Because we know that when you put money in a Black woman's hand, like that is money that circulates and multiplies through the Black community, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we're here. And so, yes, our tickets have a price, but I've never heard anyone say they bought a ticket and it wasn't worth it.
Absolutely.
Probably because they couldn't say it to me with a straight face, right? Like you might want to say it, but you're not going to say it to me with a straight face because you know you got your value out of it. You listen, and because we pay our speakers, they know there's value on the back end, right? And so we love circulating. We love paying Black women, right? We love helping Black women get paid, which is why if you're buying your ticket to Exodus Summit, you should be using Kenya's affiliate link. It's in the description.
It's in the description.
Yes.
And I was going to say, and it's going to be at Finding Your Voice After 40. Those of y'all, findingyourvoiceafter40.com/Exodus Summit. So if you go there, this is also going to be in the description, also in the show notes if you're doing the audio. And I was just going to say that as just being a guest on my show, I get, we're already partnering in this. And I really appreciate that because I am of that same ilk. Like I'm not going to have, oh, can you just do this for me? And I'm going to get you back on the, no, it's like, come on, like you are investing your time. You are valuable. I value you and let's make it, make sense. So I really appreciate that. Okay. It has already been 40 minutes. It's crazy. You both are so easy to talk to. I know. And I knew that was going to happen because it always happens. But I do have, I want two things for you each to kind of wrap us up in. One, obviously, is, how can people, if they want to get in touch with you individually or follow your channel or what have you, but also what are you looking forward to the most with this year's summit? So those two things, how can people follow you, get in touch with you, and what are you looking forward to the most? I don't know, Stephanie, if you want to go first.
I will go first. Roshida Dowe, career break coach extraordinaire. Roshida Dowe, who gets Black women out of jobs even when they don't think it's possible to get out of jobs. Her YouTube channel is at Roshida. If you look up Roshida on YouTube, Roshida, you will find her. She's blessed. She's one of those people whose name is the only name. She's got her own name, right? Kenya and Stephanie don't know what that's like. Let me get back on topic. Rashida's channel is on Rashida Talks Career Breaks. Rashida Talks Moving Abroad. Of course, she lives in Mexico City, so she loves Mexico City and she talks Mexico City. But she also talks ease, peace, living a life that you design for yourself. If you're a Black woman who is into these things, you should be subscribed to Rashida's YouTube channel and everything else that she does. She's Rashida She's different handles on different places. Okay. But YouTube will get you to the place. Okay. YouTube will get you to her at Roshida. The thing I'm most looking forward to this year, well, so I love to make friends with new people inside of the summit. I love when people come and, you know, you get to like see faces and see like names and, you know, people whose names you've seen floating around on the internet. You get to actually see them in the summit. Some of our sessions, especially our bonus sessions and our all access pass sessions, some of them are on Zoom. And so it's really lovely to get to see people, hear their voices. We talk on YouTube where, you know, I'm just talking to myself really in my little green circle called Charmaine, right? So it's really nice to be in there and like see people and hear their voices and, you know, see their faces and see their smiles and their tears. We get crying and we get emotion and we get joy inside of that summit, inside of those sessions, and inside of the bonus sessions. So I'm looking forward to somebody saying one more time, like every year, I didn't think it was really possible. I came, here's an action that I took, and now I am out, right? Now look what has happened. I'm looking forward to that again this year. This is our 5th year. I'm looking forward to that over and over and over again.
I love it. I love it. And it's like an anniversary. I mean, 5, that's a milestone. That's a milestone. So awesome. So y'all got all that. We'll put all of Rashida's handles and stuff in our show notes too. But I assume, Roshida, you're now going to pass it and let us know how we
I mean, she set me up. I guess I could give you my own channel stuff again, but that seems a little rude. But first, I want to say I'm not looking forward to the tears because they be trying to make me cry. I take it personal. Like, why are you up here? Because also there are times where like I need to be on camera all day long. I finally figured out, like, I'm trying to figure out this winged eye, and now I feel the drip, drip, drop. They be crying. I can't take it because you cry, I'm a cry. I don't want that. Stephanie's our crier. Stephanie's our designated crier. She's good with it. I don't want that.
Well, okay, so I know your signs. Y'all know I do astrology. I know Stephanie's a Cancer. And so she's water. That's emotion. She's going to want to elicit that. And you're Taurus. That's earth. No, don't. That's all right. Get me away from
That's all right.
Yeah,
Leave
but anyway.
I'm excited about those first ahas that are going to roll in. Like when, like the very first day. So Octavia session is the evening of the 11th. We're going to get people who are like, I'm in my relaxed zone. Last year, people were like, I fell asleep within like 10 minutes of her talking. Yes, that's what we want. Watch the replay. You can get the rest of it later on. Sleep nap. But that first morning when people are like, I hadn't thought about this like this, or ooh, this is new. Ooh, those oohs and those ahs, that's where I'm like, okay, it's working. Okay. You know what? It's like, if you've ever grown something from a seed, when you first see it sticking out of the ground, it's that. It's like, it's that little green sticking out of the earth, those oohs and ahs. And I'm like, our tree is growing. Our baby is growing. That's what I'm super excited about.
I love that metaphor. I'm going to steal that. No, because I feel the same way.
You can borrow it. You can have it. It's communities. It belongs to the community. But I'm also excited about hearing the orator known as Stephanie Perry come and talk to us about house sitting. And one of the reasons I'm excited about this, she's talked about house sitting at the summit before, but I'm going to tell you that there is nobody on this planet who can teach you house sitting the way Stephanie Perry can teach you house sitting. And there is no, I'm gonna say Black woman. I don't know if I'm gonna give you all the whole world. Yeah, I don't know. But there's no Black woman who can teach you YouTube better than Stephanie Perry can teach you YouTube. Yeah. And she's not teaching YouTube right now, but I love to hear her talk about those things, because when she decides that something is her lane, she owns it. She learns the thing. She learns, she devours the topic, and she plants her flag and says, this is mine. There's room for other people. You're just not going to do it as well as she does. It's just not possible. As someone who works with her often, I do have to deal with that. Like, yeah, there she go. Being excellent. There she go. being great at everything. Okay. All
I
right, here
love
we
it.
go. But one of the reasons I mentioned YouTube is Stephanie Perry has a YouTube channel, which is at Stephanie Perry.
Yes.
It changed over time, so I have to
Yeah.
make sure I know what I'm talking about. And she also has a Stephanie Perry Media channel. You get to the first one, you'll find the second one. She is vicarious on most social media platforms, and she is a force, a powerhouse, and she's my friend, and you can't have her. Thank you.
I
You
love
can borrow her
that.
sometimes when I'm not around, but I'm not gonna like it, so don't tell me about it. And that wasn't for you. No. Kenny, you can borrow her sometimes. You already had her last year without me.
I love it. I love the love. And this is what I'm going to say. I think you both are so gracious with your information. Like some people, like to your point, it's so salesy and it's funneled and I'm going to hoard. I'm going to give you this, but you got to do this before you get this, before you get that. And both of you just eat. Look, this is what y'all need to do. You needed this and you needed this. You need to be thinking about this. And beyond the steps, also, both of you really help, I think, Black women feel seen as Black women. In other words, really taking into account, we know you are thinking about this. We know you're afraid of this. We know that this has been your usual, but we want to show you another way. And I think that is what I think is so brilliant about you, is that I feel like I'm like, okay, I'm not just talking or just listening to a Black woman who has her business. I'm listening to women who, this is what they did for themselves. This is how they're living their lives. And so this isn't a sales pitch. This is the realities that you both have manifested, and you're very open about telling your hardships, telling the things that you are struggling through. And Rashida cracks me up on some Sundays. She'll be like, wait, just you crack me up, because you'll be like, did I just say what? And then even, I know we were put on earrings before, but I can see you do that on your channel in live time.
Yeah.
Same with Stephanie. Stephanie do the same thing. This light is, wait, I gotta go rinse my hair out. When you were just doing, I'm telling you, I told you I stopped. You were untangling your hair. She's like, I gotta go rinse this conditioner. I'll be back. That is super, super. I don't know. I just think we have to, that's community. And I think as Black women, it's just rare that we get to see that as women. So I love it. I love it.
In this space, so I saw a Facebook post the other day in a group for people who wanted to move, Black people who wanted to move abroad. And some man was talking about how he has freely shared information with people, and these people have started businesses, and it was him starting a conversation about it, and then people railing against people who charged for the information that would help other people move abroad. And I didn't get in it because I don't be talking to people on the internet like that, because I think what I think. I don't care what you think. I'm so sorry. Right? Like, okay, I'm not trying to change your mind. Right. But how sustainable is it for you to gather a wealth of information and give it away freely to every single person who wants it whenever they want it? How long can you do that for? We did that the first summit. There was a free level of ticket for first summit. After the first summit, we were like, never, like, we just not, like, if we can only do it free, we'll never do it again. Never. Right. We literally like disappeared. Like the first year was physically exhausting. Yeah. We said, oh, we're done. Done. Right? And so it's like, I think this is a business, but it's also our lives, in the sense that we tailor our lives around doing this thing so that it can be sustainable. We work really hard for this 3 months, because if we had to work really hard for 12 months, we wouldn't have a business. Right? If we had to do it for free, we wouldn't have a business, because free is a hobby, right? To begin with.
It is.
Free is a hobby.
I tell people all the time, free is a hobby.
And so it's one of those things of like, if you want expert advice from people, you want them to be sustainable so you can go back to them in the future. The next time you need expert advice, you've got to be willing to pay for that. You have to value it enough to pay for it. So it was such an interesting conversation, because almost everybody on the consumer side was like, it should always be free. And there are a number of business people who did it professionally who were like, baby, let me tell you why. This is just not.
No,
It's not gonna
not
happen,
at all.
right?
No.
And so we have this mix of like we do free content all around the internet, and we do
Right.
this a couple of different paid things.
Right.
And I know that someone on the planet is like, that's not community minded. But baby, I'm part of the community too, right? And if I'm doing this work, I got to eat. I
Yeah,
need my
absolutely.
attention, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm-
And
yeah.
I think you both are extremely generous. Like I said, I think that, you know, your channels, both of your channels give, I mean, extremely valuable content. And I'm grateful that you are getting paid on the back end by YouTube, because you are getting, you know, you're doing some really, you know, wonderful work there. And while I can access it for free, you're still getting, you know, this is what the magic of YouTube, you know, you can still get some type of monetary support for that, you know, even though I'm not literally giving you, you know, dollars out of my pocket. So, well, I could talk to you forever. This has been so wonderful. I just really am happy that you both are continuing to do this work. I appreciate you for bringing finding your voice after 40 out the sabbatical, you know, to do this. My assistant, she was like, "Oh, are we back?" I was like, today. But I think we might do one a month until we get back into
That's
our
a
real
good pace.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
pace.
yeah.
Yeah.
You've taught me. I've learned. I don't need to rush. I'll do what I can do. But again, we'll have all your information in the show notes. Good luck. Have an amazing, amazing summit. I plan to be there. I don't know at what because I'm in a conference, but I plan to be a part of it. And 2030 is no longer my that's no
And
longer my year.
the
Read it up.
available for
Reading
you.
it up for you.
The replays will be available for you after your conference. So
That's right.
depending on which level you
Right.
signed up for,
I
so
can
how
decide
long
that.
you have the replays.
That's right.
That's right.
Although I really love live time, so hopefully I can,
Yes.
you know, get in there at that point. So
The-
thank you, ladies.
The schedule is live on the internet now. If you need to kind of get in there and figure out which ones you want to be there
Okay.
live for, and you know
Awesome.
when you got to blow off your conference for our conference.
I know. It's a conference I have to present at. So I gotta, you know, maneuver right. But thank you, ladies, so much again. Findingyourvoiceafter40.com/Exodus Summit. Everyone, please go over there, grab your tickets. You just heard them say you can rewind, get all the details again, what have you, but just make sure you buy your ticket and make sure you're following and subscribing to both of their channels and watch them. Don't just, you know, watch them. You're gonna, if anything, you're gonna be entertained, because you both are very, very entertaining on top of I mean, really. And like Stephanie, when you did your hair, I said, because my hair is now locked, but my hair was, you know, out. And I'm like, oh, I hear her ripping. That's me. I used to rip my hair. Which is why I just said lock it, because it's just
Yes.
what?
Ease.
Mhm.
Ease. Well, thank you, ladies. I would tell everybody we'll be back. I'll be back, but just make sure you guys tune into the summit. So you guys have a wonderful day. We're gonna stop our recording, but I can't wait to see you guys more. You guys stay tight though. All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care. All right. Bye.